Hello, my name is Matikse from the Big Bad Bot Lane, and today I want to talk about surrendering a game. And I will say, you should never surrender a game. Surrender at 15 is a sentence used in a lot of League of Legends games, and often used by players who don't see a way to win the game, and give up. And giving up means cease making an effort, and admit defeat. But do players surrender a game too often, and when did it become a stable habit? After looking at some statistics, we can see that around 30% of the games are won by surrendering. And if I take a look at my case, I try to play my games till the end if I still have some use for the team. I can have a 1-9 score, yeah I know I'm feeding, but I still feel like I mean something to the team by tanking damage for key allies, engaging or CC high damage dealing enemies. Even if my allies want to quit the game because of my negative score, I try not to get discouraged by their mean words, and in the end, if we win the game, I got carried, and that's obvious. But some people just surrender because of rage quit. They can tilt so hard from an action caused by themselves or allies that they want to give up the game, even if they have an equal amount of gold or more. Losing your composure can be fatal in a game like League of Legends where every second counts. The player admitting defeat will instantly search for a victim, a black sheep. For example, feeders in the game, players who don't take actions, don't have enough map awareness and so on. It has an infectious effect, where now two people are facing off each other instead of the enemy, while the other teammates try to focus. In one game, our Jinx stopped playing because she got trolled by Ahri, and the reason is Ahri got ganked by our Vi in mid, but Ahri died when the gank was happening, so Ahri blamed Vi. Then, as a response, Ahri went bot side and farmed all of Jinx's CS. Jinx went mid, and she died a couple of times against the enemy mid laner, who had more gold and more experience. And of course, that was a reason to not play the game anymore and just tilt, we lost. But it also creates slippery slope fallacies. So you gave first blood and now they win the game. Or you didn't smite dragon and now they will end up with dragon soul. And of course, you still need to complete the main objective of the game, but there are a lot more actions that can occur. Between point A, giving first blood, and point Z, losing the game, are a lot more steps with each their own percentage of happening. And of course, in this fallacy, losing or winning the game will always be the outcome. Or so you think. Surrendering is also an option. An option that you can avoid, and you have to avoid it. Surrendering is more likely to happen than losing the game.
Another factor that gamers can hate is adaptation. Imagine playing Pyke at the bot lane. You like to engage with Pyke because he is made for it, but you already died twice trying to force some kills, and this is a good time to hold off and focus on defending instead of attacking. My elo hovers around gold and platinum, where a lot of people make mistakes, so a game isn't lost with a single setback, not even with 2 or 3 setbacks. If a jungler takes an advantage by non-stop invading, the chances he will do this over and over again, even when he fails, is pretty high. It is something I also do too much. If I take an aggressive top and get counterpicked, I still try to play aggressive because I took that champion with a reason, without looking at our game state. I was a huge Alistar support player, and I can say that my performance on the bot side was pretty good. But outside the laning phase, we lost teamfight after teamfight, not saying that I actually had to change tactics mid-game. Instead of playing the engaging role, like in the 2v2 matchup on bot side, I had to switch to defensive roles in 5v5, because my ADC was our winning factor and not my engages with QW combo. I think that not saying this earlier lost me at least 20 games just because I didn't have a clear mindset. I didn't know my role in the team fights.
But like hate is infectious, so is hope. Winning a teamfight, stealing a Baron, or securing Dragon Soul are all optional ways to make a decent comeback. Hope is created by the most hype moments in a game and creates a fighting chance in your allies. This can happen in every rank, even in pro play. Enemies can lose their composure in a blink of the eye. Another reason why players would surrender often is not wasting time. On the Chinese and Korean servers, players want to quit their games faster to start a new one. They start teamfighting in early stages of the game, which results in bigger snowballs. If players are really good, they tend to win early games more often. So why play 2 long 40-minute games if you can play 4 20-minute games and end with more points? I had one case where I could win the 1v1 topside matchup. The enemy was feeding and he didn't care at all, but my team kept dying over and over again. And as long as we could kill enemies one by one, there would be a chance of turning it around. Sadly, everyone pushed yes on the surrender vote and the game was done. And this was the post-game chat. I said, "What is this forced surrender?" Our Shaco said, "What's impossible? Victor bot isn't a thing, offer a reason." Not even a try was my last sentence. You can see that my ally was blaming the off-meta Victor bot lane pick as a source of losing the game. Looking at the end score, we can see that everyone of our team had negative scores, and this Shaco created a slippery slope fallacy. Picking Victor bot lead to lose the game. To everyone that surrender their games too often, try to be a player that enlightens their teammates. Create a point of hope in your game, a path to victory for you and your allies. I hope you enjoyed this first video on my low level league series. Like, subscribe and hit the bell button for more content like this. This was LLL by BBB. And if you have any comments about how I can improve this kind of videos, just go to the comments and write it down. Thanks.